G'day everyone, Graham here. We have Michelle Noakes with me today. We're going to chat about her journey, her property flipping journey. She's a seasoned renovator and flipper now. She's been going for 6 years. She's a local to Perth. She's up to deal 33, flip 33 and 34. She said not deal because she's done subdivisions and developments as well. Welcome, Michelle.
Hey, Graham.
What's been happening?
Oh, just in the thick of it right now. It's going to be, a crazy end to the year, that's for sure.
Fair enough. So you're obviously working on a little bit at the moment?
Yeah, so, last week in particular, pretty much last week and this week, one finishing, one we're in the middle of, and one we're just starting. So, a bit busy.
Beautiful. And whereabouts are those deals or flips at the moment? Whereabouts are they?
So I'm all over Perth at the moment. I've got, one in the middle of the city, one south and one east. So not the best for logistics wise. I've been driving from site to site. But yeah.
Cool. When you say, are you talking about your Bicton one? Is that the one in the city?
Subi.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay, cool. Fair enough. All right, cool. All righty. Well, look, I wanted to something I had to just fix up as well is in the fun fact that I asked you. You said that I thought you said that you if you were to find you, you'll find you in a nail salon, which I thought was a bit weird. But then you came back to me and said you'll never find me in a nail salon. So we'll just clear that up. So obviously not into the nails, more into
no, thank you. No, been once, and I didn't even get it finished.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
Yeah, my bridesmaids wanted to take me like the day before my wedding. They got me there, and I lasted about 5 minutes before I was just like,
had a gutful.
Yeah, no thanks.
Fair enough. Okay, cool. All right, so you'd rather get your hands dirty instead and renovate houses. Do you do much? Do you do much hands-on? Tell us about that.
I try not to, but it's very hard for me. I like being on site. For me, I find it very helpful in terms of making sure you've got really clear communication with the trades, and making sure that everything actually ticks along as you want it and expect it. I do like to be on site, and then if I am on site, I may as well be doing something. These days it's mostly painting, cleaning, and a little bit of gardening, a little bit of landscaping, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Fair enough. I can't stand doing anything. I'd rather just be at a distance. But what stuff? You say you do painting. You've got a painter though. So what do you do versus what he does?
I'll do little things like I might like fencing or render. So he will generally do like the whole interior, and then he might do like gutters, fascias, eaves, and then I'll do like the external walls, or I can pick one thing and that's what I'm going to paint.
What is the point of that? Save a few $100.
Well, it gives me something to do. But also just give me something to do. I like it. I like standing back at the end of the day and going, like, I've done something, or this is what I've finished, or like this looks so much better now. Like, yeah.
Fair enough. All right, cool. Fair enough. Hey, all right. Take us right back to the start, though. Okay, so you've been flipping houses for 6 years.
Yeah.
And you've done, you're now doing, your number 33 and 34 project.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did it all start for you? How did you get into the whole flipping house thing?
So the 6 years ago was really, like a turning point for us. As in me and my husband and our family, because prior to that, we kind of used to renovate like the house that we lived in. And my husband is not handy. He doesn't like renovating, doesn't have attention to detail, doesn't, we nearly used to kill each other every time we had to install a kitchen. It was just, and it just got to the point where he was like, I actually hate doing this and you love it. And he was like, if you want to do it, just you go and do it, please. And so, yeah, that was pretty much the turning point. Was we didn't want to live in a construction site anymore, and I looked at turning it into my job or a steady income stream.
So how did you do it? What was the steps then?
I guess the first one that we did, we were still using bank finance. Yes, I could just put in a normal offer. I just purchased it normally. And then I guess because we had already had a bit of renovating experience, I already had a team pretty much ready to go. But yeah, I think the first one I used bank finance for, and then after that was when I had to look at different financing strategies and private lenders and peer-to-peer stuff. Yeah.
Cool. So when you first started, did you have a coach or do a course or anything like that? Or how did you know how to do FISOs and, make sure you got the numbers right and all that? How did that all come about? Is that because you're an analytical person?
Yeah. So I guess by that, I have got a little bit of a background in construction. So I had a pretty good idea, of how everything comes together. And then similar thing, when you're renovating your own house, you have the luxury of time. And I guess as you assemble your team, you've got the luxury of the time is that you can meet with lots of trades. You can get, multiple quotes. You can kind of weed out the good ones and the bad ones. And that all comes together. So by that stage, I already had a good idea of what things cost.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So you knew what the renovation cost was, but then what about, because beforehand you were doing, obviously your, PPBR, permanent place of residence, but how do you, obviously when it comes to, an actual flip, you've got to go, okay, well, I've got to take into consideration the stamp duty and, the sales costs at the other end and settlement costs and holding costs and, all that sort of stuff. So, how did you do that? You just got the spreadsheet out?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Got an Excel spreadsheet. I've got all the line items in it. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Because a lot of people starting out, they just don't take those costs into consideration. Like a lot of people think you flip a house, okay, you buy it, you renovate it, and then you sell it. The only cost that you have is the renovation cost. Obviously not the case. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So so you start. How did you decide? Okay, what location you were going to flip in? So, for you, was it just close to home, or how did you do your market research?
So, I guess initially where we ended up was affordability. When we were younger, it was where can we afford that is familiar to us. So we were in an entry-level suburb, and then we pretty much just stayed.
Stayed around there.
Yeah. And in actual fact, as an investment strategy, it worked out fine. There was security for me knowing that an entry-level suburb, there would always be people that wanted to buy there.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Yeah. I think I was just going to say, I think there's a big misconception that people think that you can only flip houses in high-end suburbs, $1 million plus suburbs. But the reality is that, the lower end, there's, less in stamp duty costs and less in selling costs and stuff like that, less in holding costs. But yeah, you can literally flip really at any price point.
Yeah. And I think as well, the market at the time, it suited it as well because I was buying them really cheap.
Yeah.
The market was declining. It wasn't the market that it is right now.
So so that's obviously a pretty crazy point. I get a lot of people reaching out to me. Oh, you're so lucky to be flipping in Perth, and and hear it all the time. But you started flipping 6 years ago. So what's that? 2017 or 16 or what? 17?
Yeah, 2018 was probably when we first started doing it professionally. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the market was shit for 18, 19, even 20. That was the year COVID came on. Obviously, it changed in 2021, maybe towards late 2020. But how did you have the confidence to flip in what everyone knew? By 2018, Perth had been on the decline for 3 years. So what gave you the confidence to know that when you did your fees on your numbers that it wasn't going to go from shit to more shit?
Because the product that I was taking to market, like the end finished product, was so much better than anything available.
Yeah, okay.
So I had the confidence to know that there would be demand for it because it just, like in that particular suburb at that time, nothing was fully renovated and nothing was ever staged. Like staging just put me, a million miles ahead of the rest of the market.
Yeah, okay. So with that product then, even though the areas that you were flipping were probably definitely a lot of high rental, a lot of rental properties as well, but was obviously the buyers coming in there, were they typically owner occupiers?
Yeah, at that point in time, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, cool. All right, cool. So talk me through your first ever deal. When that wasn't your obviously a property that you were living in. A house that you were literally buying, renovating and flipping in a few month period for profit. How did that come about? Obviously you probably remember.
Well, so the first ever property I ever bought in 2010 was an investment property, and that did not work out very well. That was it's the one and only project that I've ever lost money on. Was the very first one, and yeah, but that was the market at the time. Like it was literally at that particular point in time as a novice. Yeah, we'd done months of research, thought we knew what we were doing, bought something, renovated it, and then it was worth less than what we.
So when did you sell that one?
I think we ended up putting a tenant in it and sold it 2012.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So that was a property that you. So let's talk about your first deal. That was an actual flip though. So not putting a tenant in, literally buying the property, renovating it, and flipping it. Was that 2018? Was that the first time?
Yeah.
That wasn't.
Yeah.
Okay. So can you remember the first one?
Yeah. So that one. So in 2018, that first one was that was state housing. It'd been on the market for like a long time. They just continually kept dropping the house, the price. It had no windows in the whole house. Like the whole thing was boarded up because every single window was broken. It smelt. Every room was a different color. Yeah, it was cool. It did have a really big mulberry tree in the backyard. That was awesome.
Cool. All right. And so how did that that deal? How did you find it? Was it on
market? So it was just on market. It was with a real estate agent that I'd bought through before. Like I said, it'd been on there for a while. They'd been dropping the price, and I just knew the agent, put in an offer, and he got it over the line.
Yeah, cool. So very different to obviously the Perth market now. Like nothing sitting on the market for a long time. It's obviously a hot market, but it was obviously a very slow market back then. So I suppose what you're saying, even in a slower market, you can still find deals and make deals work. In that situation, you would just, obviously you just needed to buy at the right price, and then obviously do your numbers and make it work.
Yeah, and I think at that point, the real estate agent did actually help me because he knew its value and he knew where it sat in the market, and it was more getting the seller as the housing department, getting getting them on board and their expectations realistic.
Yeah, cool. Can you remember what sort of profit you made on that very first?
I think maybe like 35 grand.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And did that seem like a good amount of money back then?
That was at that point in time, yeah.
Cool. All right, and then obviously, so from that moment onwards, from when you started, was you started obviously making good profits, straight away sort of thing. How many deals a year were you doing at that stage?
That was a bit hit and miss at that particular point in time because chuck a few pregnancies and a few kids in the mix, a bit all over the place, up and down. But I've been pretty much doing. At that stage, I was probably doing maybe like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
At the beginning, and now we're doing more again.
Yeah, cool. How many would you be doing at the moment per year? How many have you done this year?
It's it's much easier if I work on financial year, but the calendar year, maybe 7 or 8. 7.
Wow,
Yeah.
pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So, okay, so let's talk about obviously your progression. So you obviously started out, 2018 went sort of professional. You'd obviously been renovating at that stage already, but then I met you in 2021 when I was starting out flipping, and I met you through a property group. I won't mention who they were, but mention a property group, and we were both students. I obviously just kept seeing your name as somebody who was doing deals. I was like, and I knew you're from Perth because there wasn't that many people from Perth. I was like, who's this Michelle chick that's doing like heaps of deals and stuff like that. How did you why did you go and do a course and get a coach then? At that stage you'd probably already done 20 odd deals.
Yeah, I guess at that particular point in time, the market in Perth changed. And that's when I really noticed that stock was not as readily available.
Okay.
And that's kind of when I was like, okay, I'm going to have to do something different. I'm going to have to adapt or pivot, or I've got to do something in order to keep, that kind of
deals.
Yeah.
So talk us through that. Talk us through that change of strategy then. So you went from obviously buying properties on market, because obviously they weren't sitting on the market anymore. So you had to look off market, I assume.
Yeah, and that was really the main reason for having the coach was, I have to do the off market. I have to give that a go. It's working for other people, so I've got to put myself out there and do it.
Fair enough. That actually leads me to a good point. So me and you obviously do, a lot of deals, but we're completely different people. I'm very extrovert and have absolutely no issues with, that whole stuff. Like our disc profile, shows that I'm, very extroverted and that way. But whereas you're like the complete opposite, you are West, you are, completely introverted, very analytical. Typically, those people are very good, very good at, numbers and all that sort of stuff, but they're not typically people that go out and hunt down deals. So you've kind of bucked the trend in that sense, in that you've, put yourself out there, got out of your comfort zone, and obviously, you do your letterbox drops and meet people off market. And how's that whole, transition and that whole growth for you? How when you look back at it, how can you describe it?
I guess growth is really really sums it up in terms of, I'm doing the, I love renovating, but I guess like everyone describes it as, it's a journey. And that's exactly right. Is that, even though I'm renovating houses, me as a person, as a mother, as a wife, as a business owner, you're still on this journey and you're constantly changing and evolving as a person. It was like, I knew that I needed to do it. And as much as I don't like doing it, I think I'm getting better. It's like anything, you practice. The more you practice something, the better you get, right?
Yeah. So how do you feel? Obviously, I mean, because I've seen you speak on stage and stuff, and that, and you do pretty, you seem like a natural. But obviously, maybe it's not something that you really enjoy. So how do you find, being introverted and that sort of stuff? And obviously, there's probably a lot of people that listening and that don't, that don't like the whole, talking to people that they don't really know. How do you feel in those situations now? Is it just something you've gotten good at, or?
I still wouldn't say good, but I definitely feel more comfortable. I feel I feel I'm more competent in doing it. I guess the property space is easy for me because I've got the experience and I feel very comfortable. But I guess at the end of the day, people are just people, and everyone just wants to relate to you in a different way. Like, yeah, it's easy. And I think when you're meeting with homeowners, you're asking them about themselves. And it's pretty easy for people to talk about themselves.
Yeah.
If you're willing to listen.
So that's obviously you talk to, that's how you build rapport with them, right? It's just you
Yeah.
ask them about themselves, get them talking, and and then obviously they bring down the guard, and it's
And I guess you're also, with the off-market stuff, is you're trying to find a win-win situation. Like, if it doesn't work for the homeowner, then they're not going to sell you the house. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that then, a win-win. So what's normally a win for you is obviously buying the property under market value so you can renovate and flip it for profit. But what's the win for them?
Well, I guess, you've talked about it on before, it's getting away from something. Is the ones that I've bought from is they don't have the time, they don't have the money, they don't want to put in the effort, they just want the quickest, easiest solution. That's generally, they don't have the expertise. They don't. They're just like, I want to sell it as is. I want as little to do as possible. Can you please just take it?
Yeah, exactly. And quite often, the houses that that we're buying, they're so run down that the people, they don't have the money to fix it. They don't have the energy to fix it, and they just want an exit strategy, don't they?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So it's been a 6-year journey for you so far as full time. Obviously, you were doing projects before that, but so are you full time yet?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I knew you were, but so tell me about how that transition happened and when it happened, and after.
Well, so I still had a little part-time job up until June this year. So I worked for a not-for-profit organization that worked in youth mental health and suicide prevention. I worked in the admin, accounts, HR space. But they grew exponentially at the same time my business was growing, and I just wasn't doing the role justice. And I just felt like it kind of got to a point where I just needed to step away and let them find someone that could do the role properly. They really needed someone at 4 days a week, and I just wouldn't give them that time. So
I can remember saying, why are you still there? Like, just because for me, I was just like, if you just if you quit your job, I know it's only a couple of days a week, but that time can be spent prospecting, finding new deals. At the end of the day, you're going to make more money by not having that job. And obviously you've had a big year, so
well, it's like anything, you feel the time. So it's now it's like I wouldn't have time to have a job, but
exactly. No. I know.
But even like this afternoon was brilliant. I was actually in the office, which was good, and an agent called me and he was like, hey, can you come and see this house now? And I was like, well, actually, I can. I'll see you in 20 minutes.
Cool. All right. So obviously that's something that you've really mastered is leveraging real estate agents to bring you deals. So how did that all come about? Obviously it's just time and
that's years worth of going to home opens.
Yeah.
Everyone around here knows me. Everyone knows my face. Everyone knows my name. It's going to opens, getting in their face, following up with phone calls, putting in offers, putting pen to paper shows them that you're serious. Being able to, message them when you see they've got an awesome sale, or, they get a good result, or, just checking in on what something went under offer at. Just keeping in contact with the guys.
Yeah, cool. Tell me about, so you've got an agent that you use for all your deals?
Mostly, not all, but
So basically, in your region, which you predominantly do most of your deals, you use the same agent. But is that what you're getting at?
For selling, yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. Talk to me about your trades team. How did I know you said from doing your deals early days, when you were doing your own houses that you were living in, you had basically a trades team back then, but Had those guys, are they still with you today?
I do have some of my originals. Yes. Same Tyler, same ceiling fixer, same paving guy, same plasterer. Yeah, I still got some of my originals. But yeah, like anything, people and people's lives, it's a constantly evolving team. That's for sure. Yeah.
Okay, so I was about to say, have you had to sack anyone or anything like that? Have you? Well, talk to me about some of the bad experiences you've had with trades.
I had a good one just the other week. I need a new paving contractor, and I'm trialing a new carpenter.
Didn't you just say you had the same paving guy since the start?
Oh, sorry. So what happened? No. So the paving guy he wants to phase out and retire and just do some dingo work. So I'll still use him for the dingo, but he's like, I don't really want to do paving anymore. I'm like, fine. So I had someone else come in, and I've used him before, but not for paving.
Okay.
And he's just unreliable. Just not turn up when he said he's going to turn up. Just the work he does is all right, but you know how tight the schedule is that we run. You can't have a tradie that doesn't turn up when they say they're going to turn up. You can't have them not finish when you need them to finish. Like, it just screws up the whole schedule. It mucks all the other trades around. But yeah, so I just had a bit of a backwards landscaping at this last project. It was the paving got finished after the fence got painted, and the paving got finished after the landscaping and retic went in. It was I was very stressed.
So he's fired.
Yeah, won't be using him again.
Perfect. Cool. All right. So give me some learnings along the way. Have you had any significant learnings that you're like, like for me, I'll give you an example. What I mean. So my biggest learning was my Fremantle deal. That was definitely the biggest learning, and I spoke about it a lot, and I've shared it with everyone quite a few times. But for you, what over the years that you've been doing this, has there been anything that stands out?
I think for me, a bit of a belief in myself, in that things will always work out okay. I've had a couple, like I had one a few years back that I bought. I think it was probably the first one that I bought that had major structural defects, to the point where like they'd masked them when I bought. Like, I knew it had issues when I bought it. I just didn't know the extent of the issues when I bought it. And like when the team started coming in and started pulling the layers back, and they're going, you need to like look at, like, this is not good. I had to get a structural engineer in. He was like, yeah, you should just demolish this. And I'm going, no, that's not an option. We can't demolish it. He's just like, yeah, this is, and then, he was like, you're fine. If you're not going to demolish it, this is what you need to do to make it, repair it. And then
did you still make money on that? Did you still make money on that deal?
Yeah. And that's it. I think at the time I was so like, oh my God, like, what have I bought? Like, what am I doing? But the guys then were really good. It just means I had to kind of reshuffle the schedule, and I think some of the over the years, I guess it's the more you do, the easier it gets, right? I had an asbestos issue once where I had to literally be like, okay, tools down, everyone go home until I've sorted this out. Had a roof issue once where the quote for the restoration was like double what I was expecting, and then I freaked out, and then proceeded to get like 7 different quotes like just to double check what was actually the proper price. And like it's at the end of like it's money. I don't know, like
so it sounds like your biggest learnings have been more from the actual renovation perspective. So have you had any other learnings outside of that? Because renovation is only, even though renovation sounds like it's it's everything, but it's only really a small part of what we do. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the first time I bought something off market, that was definitely a big shift for me, because I just didn't believe that someone would sell me their house
that cheap.
Why? Why would someone sell me? Why would someone sell me their house, and why would they sell it to me at that price? So that was definitely a very a mindset shift. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Awesome.
It was like, I can do this. People do, this is, this does actually happen. It's real.
Yeah.
Now let's do it again.
Cool. So just on the mindset stuff, obviously you're, I think someone put it in their Facebook group. Remy mentioned that you're obviously a massive quiet achiever. So how much do you put down to, how, you were talking about mindset just then, how big a part of, what you've done and the success you've had do you put down to mindset?
A lot. Definitely.
Yeah. Talk us through that.
I guess it's perseverance that's probably the biggest thing I think you need in order to be successful in this. Is just keep going, just stick to your guns, have your goal, just keep doing it. It's just a numbers game. It's the more houses you look at, the more feasibilities you do, the more offers you put in. It's just keep going, just keep doing them.
For sure.
And then
do you write down goals and stuff like that? Do you have your own goals as to do you say this year this how many flips I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to make?
Not in an annual. I've got kind of the big hairy audacious goals, and then pretty much
what are they, the holidays and the dream house that you're building at the moment?
Yeah, the dream house, the passive income, the holidays, and then from there it pretty much goes to weekly goals.
So you're that anal, you do your weekly goals as well?
Oh yeah. In terms of I've set myself, it's like KPIs, go to this many home opens, call this many real estate agents, do this many letters.
Awesome.
Kind of a weekly checklist.
Cool. And so have you always done that stuff, or was that mainly, when did that all start for you?
That started when I started, when we joined that property group and had coaching. Yeah.
Okay.
I've been doing that ever since.
Cool. All right. So obviously, you started out, you're doing small deals, making 35 grand, 40 grand when you first started. Tell us about some of the big wins that you've had this year. Is there what stands out from some of the big wins that you've had this year?
Yeah, I certainly think I've had some pretty easy deals that have made quite good returns this year. Yeah. Are
you happy to share any numbers, or are you keeping that to yourself?
I had one this year, where I turned over 145,000 on a 5 or 6 week reno. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy to think that, when you can make that sort of money, and that's only one deal of 8 or whatever you've done this year.
Yeah.
So, that's for, it's a year's salary for a lot of people, if not more.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
and it wasn't even that hard of a reno. It was it was a 4x1, and I converted it into a 4x2, and it literally came with a new ensuite and a new kitchen, and I pretty much just put in a bathroom and it was ready.
Yeah. So let's say, obviously, we've been lucky this year, me and you, because obviously we know the Perth market's been going up. But people always say, you're lucky. But when we do our FISO, we don't do our FISO based on what it's going to get with growth. We work out, okay, based on today's numbers, what's it going to get? So, obviously, sometimes that there's been that extra growth or whatever. But what's the minimum FISO? When you do your FISO right from the start, what's your won't get out of bed profit margin for?
So now it's kind of 40 to 50.
Okay, so you'll still do a reno if it's got 40 in it?
Yeah, depending on how hard it is.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
The harder the ones that the more effort it requires, the more profit I will be expecting.
Yeah. Okay.
But some of the easy ones, like,
yeah,
you know, if it's a little 2x1 apartment, like, you know.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. But you obviously had a lot of deals that have been a lot prettier than 40, 50 grand this year.
Yeah, I haven't had one in the last couple of years that's been that small, but yeah, that's capital growth. It's kind of like I've done the FISO based on that, and then anything extra is a bonus. Yeah.
Yep. Cool. Alrighty. So, you know, you're up to sort of deal 33 and 34 now. You know, where do you see, you know, you in sort of 12 months time? Or I know obviously me and you chat, we obviously, you know, I suppose we're, you know, probably the only buddy that I sort of lean on, I suppose, in Perth regarding flipping houses. Probably there's not that many people. Obviously, it can be a bit of a lonely journey because none of your friends or family do it. And it's not like, you know, there's heaps of people that you can just ring up and, you know, talk to, that sort of stuff. But obviously me and you sort of check in with each other and, you know, talk about, you know, the market and flipping and all that sort of stuff. And I know you're obviously, you know, looking at, you know, obviously, you know, like you said, you're building the dream house, so you're actually moving away from Perth in the next couple of years because you're building a house down in, can I say where? Southwest, building a house down in the Southwest. So what, you know, where to for you in the future, sort of thing? Like, what's the plan?
That is a good question. Yeah, I guess we'll continue flipping, for the next 1 or 2 years, and then we will have to change into something. Yeah, whether that's we go into more developments or the HMOs or just, not too sure.
Or
hopefully focus a bit more on the passive income.
Yeah, okay.
We've built up a bit of capital.
Maybe some renos down in the Southwest.
I mean, potentially, could try and recreate the flipping down there, maybe.
Yeah. Cool. I mean, a lot of people obviously graduate from the flipping to the development and that sort of stuff anyway, but you kind of already did subdivisions and then went into flipping.
Yeah, it was just the market, you know, like we, you know, a few years back, that was going to be our thing. We were doing subdivisions, we were doing retain and builds, and that's what we decided was going to be our strategy. We were like, we're just going to buy corner blocks and, you know, split them up and just roll that and roll that and roll that. But yeah, the market changed and the profit went from it. And
yeah, that's the thing I was about to say. There's no in Perth at the moment, the profit is in flipping property. There's no money in building, subdividing builds at the moment, is there?
So, yeah, I mean, people are still doing it, but
but they're not. But then, you know, they might have held the property for a long time.
True.
You just, you know, or they might be just looking at it from if they got the cash put into it, they might be looking at it from a rental yield. You know, by the time they build them, the rental yield is going to be strong, but there's not necessarily growth or money in it straight away. That's I mean, I've crunched numbers and a lot of other people, and that's why a lot of developers are sitting on their hands in Perth at the moment. But anyway, going off topic, cool. Awesome. Look, I think there's a couple of questions. I'm an absolute rookie at this, though. So let's have a look see. I'll probably cut this call off or something by trying to have a look at the comments here. We'll have a look at what the questions are. Here we go. Oh, I haven't. Karina, do you have a paver guy, Michelle Noakes? Not really a question. Okay, here we go. Amy, are you buying these homes as a primary residence so you don't have to pay as much capital gains tax? And how does that work? Do you know what? This question gets asked in the Facebook group every single day, and I actually feel like smashing my head against the wall every time it gets asked. But that's all right, Amy. We'll answer it again. Go for it, Michelle.
So no, I am definitely not buying it as a PPR. I'm running it as a business. So I don't pay capital gains. I'm paying like business income tax.
Company tax. Cool. Yeah. Speak to your accountant, everyone. That's the trick.
And can I add to that then? Years ago, I had someone tell me that they would rather earn more money and pay more tax then earn less money to pay less tax.
Exactly. Hey, Karina's actually said she does have a paving guy, so you can give her a call if you want her paving guy. All right. All right. What else? We actually never got that many questions. I had a few questions beforehand. So how did you get started? We already got that one. How you find your projects? Yeah, capital gains tax. Oh, someone's asked, what do you read and what podcasts do you listen to?
I don't have time to read.
What about, do you listen to anything when you're driving in the car?
I sign up for different courses, like different property groups. It's not necessarily podcasts. It's more like the content of the courses that I'm like listening to. Yeah.
Me and you are both kind of, in a way, course junkies. I think we've both done quite a few courses over the last. I mean, I've only known you for a couple of years. How long do you reckon we've known each other for? When we met at the Bull Creek Shopping Centre when we first caught up? When was
that?
How long was that? It would have been beginning of last year, I reckon.
No. Oh,
yeah, because a year ago it was June last year. We went to that we went to the Sydney, so it was before that.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's another question: what is there any types of houses that you steer clear of? And after seeing the Hamilton Hill house, I'd almost say no that you purchased. But is there any sorts of houses that you do steer clear of?
The ones that I definitely don't like are the asbestos ones. Like if they're fibro, even veneer, I'm like,
what do you mean veneer? Brick veneer?
Yeah.
As in veneer on the inside?
As in,
so brick external, and then, but that every house on the East Coast is like that.
Yeah, it's just the asbestos, like it adds a whole extra cost to the FISO that.
Yeah, I agree.
And you're right. Like over East, it's so much more common. Whereas over here, it's like, well, why would I choose like a fibro house when I could buy a brick one that's so much less asbestos in it?
We've pretty much in Perth, like the only brick veneer homes are kind of like that 60s Homes West era, like suburbs like Medina, Kubla, Willagee, those houses, that sort of 60s era. There was a lot of that sort of stuff built.
Yeah. Okay, so you can buy them, but you just have to add that extra cost in, and it often sometimes blows the.
But you're not gonna clad the external of a asbestos house. You're not going to rip that down, or if it's got an asbestos roof, you're not going to rip down the asbestos roof and put a ColourBond roof on or anything like that.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. It blows your FISO out. The numbers then don't work. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. All right. Someone's asked, do you stay in one or two areas, or do you move around? I mean, I know you move around, but talk us through that. Like, obviously,
I do have an area of expertise. Definitely, I've got like a set kind of, my corridor. Main kind of four. I guess 4 suburbs, and then it becomes a corridor. So I do have like an area that I like to stick at, but I guess when the stock on market is so low, that's when I've started going a bit more like.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All these other questions have popped up now. So, okay. So Brooks asked, do you do the same style for each flip, like rinse, repeat? So Brooks actually one of my students, so that's why she's asking. But answer?
I definitely have. Yeah. I mean, they're not identical, but I definitely have kind of like 4 benchtop colors that I rotate between. I mean, at the moment, I'm pretty much the wall color is pretty much the same in every house.
What's that, Lexicon?
No, I'm using at the moment. Oh my God, I can't remember.
All right. Anyway,
White Exchange. That's White Exchange 50%. That's pretty much like the last. I don't know.
All right.
Yeah.
Ben's asked, what's the median house price for a 4x2 in your target area? He's actually a Perth person, so I mean, it's changing all the bloody time. Median house prices. Do you even know?
Median for a 4x2.
Yeah.
Oh God. I know what the top end is. I know what the bottom end is. So I guess the middle is probably around the 550 mark.
Cool. Michelle, not you, but another Michelle, another student of mine, has asked, do you have a signature style? Anything you use in each Renault? I mean, I suppose that's pretty much the same as do you use the same stuff. But do you have a bit of a signature? Would you say anything that people can?
Not really, because to be honest, it's actually the staging that makes that the style is the staging. Because I can do an absolutely amazing Renault, and at the end of the day, it still is just like four walls.
Yeah, okay. So you're telling people to make sure you stage the house then?
Yeah, it's when the furniture is what brings it to life.
Okay. Actually, something we haven't touched on, money partners. So at the start, you said you used to, this is a question here from Pure. Did you use a money partner for your purchases on your own money or loan or bank? So obviously I'm pretty vocal in the group about, using money partners and getting started with, no money and, leveraging those, money partners and joint ventures and that sort of stuff. So I know that you do use that stuff. Do you want to share any of that sort of stuff? Like how much of the deals are you doing with your own versus, what's your strategy with money partners?
Yeah. So at the moment now, I'm only using money partners. And I've pretty much got a money partner on every deal. But before that, I was using more like private lenders, like peer-to-peer lenders.
Like your Latrobe's and your Equity Ones and that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Which is obviously it's a different structure again.
So with those, it's like what 65% lend, 70% lend. So were you topping it up yourself?
Yeah. But then back then I was buying houses for, like
nothing,
$200,000 or something. So But I guess that model then became, or it was more the legal fees. The setup costs on them are quite high. So it worked for a little while, and then the money partners worked quite well for me.
Okay, so someone's asked, do you use your own staging or outsource? But you use a staging company, right?
Yeah, I tried to do it myself. I did do it a little while for myself. Like we had like an actual storage, not a container, but like a storage thing. We had furniture in there, but it was once my husband wasn't on board, it was just became like I needed someone with a truck and I need someone to help me lift it. And then you'd buy like one piece that would then never fit in another house. And then you just, it's just easier now to just 100%. Get the staging guys,
couldn't agree more. I can't think of anything worse than fucking staging a house. Like it's I'm quite, but I don't like renovating houses. I like telling other people I like getting other people to do it. So
the people I use are brilliant. I love what they do. I love what
staging.
They do.
Who's that? Sorry.
Yeah, I love like I'm always excited. Staging day is the most exciting day of the whole reno.
Fair enough. I don't get any excitement from it anymore. It's for me. It's just business. It's just money. It's just move on to the next deal. As soon as it's done, I'm happy. Mike, another student. It's good to see some students on here. I will have 110K for my very first deal. Do you feel that's enough for a first time money? So he's had enough money for him to get a money partner.
Yeah.
So he's going to do his own first deal. He's got 110K to play with. Is that enough?
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, because then potentially your money partner could fund the purchase, and then you've got enough cash to do the reno.
100%. Couldn't agree more. Jake has asked, with approaching the off-market opportunities, do you have some basic idea of what the house layout is? Is there a different website to access the information so you know what houses to approach? I don't even know what he's talking about.
Not really, because you're still doing, like if someone calls, you're still going to, like you could probably look on realestate.com or RP Data and see if there's any photos from when they purchased it. But other than that, no, I generally just rock up and wing it, I guess.
A question from Shah. Do you own... Hey, sorry. No, you've already answered that, sorry. Regarding staging. Eloise, what's the biggest value-adding change that you make in a reno?
If I can add in another bathroom.
I've only done that once. How many times have you done that? Actually, I've done it twice. Done it to my development, which is the house I'm living in now.
Oh, maybe like 8 or 9.
Wow, have you done it that many times? So that's your little go-to then.
Yeah, that's definitely it's work. It's a pretty good definitely am focusing on that as a strategy right now.
Yeah, right. So trying to make the old 3x1 to 3x2 or 4x1 to 4x2.
Yeah.
I find that too many houses, they just don't. So are you okay? Are you worried about having? Does the second bathroom have to be an ensuite or not? Or does it just have to be a 2-bathroom?
Not necessarily. It depends on the layout. Like I'm doing one now where it's going to become a laundry bathroom combination.
Okay, and so that still adds a fair bit of value. That you reckon?
Yeah, because it still means it can go online as a 4x2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the interstate investors will just buy it because it's a 4x2.
Yeah.
Nicole, I like your honesty about your first deal. Very important point to highlight. Got to buy at the right price to make money. Okay, question here. Do you stick to houses or throw in an apartment flip now and then?
I definitely prefer houses, absolutely, because you've got full control of the property and the facade and you can do whatever you want to it. I've just been working on, actually just done 2 in strata complexes. So yes, if the numbers work, then why not? But it's not my favorite thing. I'm a bit scared of the strata in one of them at the moment.
Because of the strata management and the rules and regs and that?
Yeah. I got an email just reminding you that you need strata approval if you're making any structural changes. And I was like, no worries. Thanks for reminding me.
Okay, another student. Tower, do you start flipping in one area for 6 years or have you changed a few areas? So you've kind of said, we've answered that already. You've moved to, you've got your corridor, you've got your main areas, but you'll move around where the deals are.
Yeah.
I
still like to come back to, every time I buy something far away, I'm like, never doing this again. Come back to like this. Bit of a yo-yo. Yeah.
I know what you mean. I mean, I haven't really. 2022, I was kind of doing deals kind of all over the place, but this year, all my deals have been in either Rockingham or Kwinana, and I've done one deal in Armidale. So, and it is when I drive out to Armidale, it just doesn't feel like Rockingham and Kwinana. Like I feel when I'm in Rockingham and Kwinana, I just, even though I don't live there, but I've done that many deals down there, I just feel like I know it all so well.
Yeah.
When starting out, and I think that really comes back to being the area expert. Hey, is that when you know your market. Like you've gone to Bicton, like it's you're not. I mean, I'm not saying you're not an expert in there, but you're not. It's not the same for you as as the other areas that you're flipping in, is it?
No. Oh yeah, no, it's completely different. Yeah.
Different buyer, all that sort of stuff. Julie, when starting out, is there a way to estimate reno cost pre-purchase for FISO? So let's say it's a 60k reno, whatever, 70k reno. How are you? I mean, obviously you've done lots of deals now, but if you're starting out, someone like Julie, how can you be comfortable that you've allowed enough in your FISO?
Put a pretty big contingency in.
How much is a big contingency?
Well, I guess that's relative to the reno, I guess.
Okay. Are you a 10% person or are you like
I still myself now work on 10%. Yeah.
Yep. Alrighty. Awesome. Here we go. What percentage of your deals come from letterbox drops versus agents? So if you've done 8 deals this year, how many have come from?
Yeah, I'm still mostly coming from agents.
Yeah. Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So you've really led. I'm teaching that in my course, but me personally, like everything comes from letterbox drops. So
yeah. So this year is probably I've had a few I've had a couple that are on market, a couple that are like silent listings through agents, and then a couple from a letters. So like,
and how many agents would you have bringing you deals? Like, have you got one person that's like a main, mainly brings them, or have you got maybe so you've got a few different ones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't. Yeah, you can't rely on just one person. It's
Yeah. I think. Do you think because you built those relationships before it was a hot market, it made it easier to build those relationships? Like now, agents don't want to know us.
Yeah.
Because like now it's just like they know they're going to sell it straight away anyway. But you've obviously had those relationships for years, so yeah.
Yeah, and I think as well, a lot of agents know what I'm capable of.
Yeah. So they've seen your finished product.
Yeah, and what I'm not afraid of buying.
And you have a pretty big appetite for buying too.
If someone tells me it needs to be demolished, that's what I'm like, brilliant, let me come and have a look.
Yeah. That Hammy Hill one that you bought, which we both looked at, I looked at it before you, and you bought it. I was like, wow.
Yeah. Again, major structural defects, had termites in the roof, the ceiling was half collapsed. Like,
what did that reno cost you? That would have been 100 and what?
Yeah, that was a big one. I think that was 110, 115 that ended up costing me.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Pretty cheap considering pretty cheap considering it would have only cost 25 for a bulldozer.
Yeah.
No, you did. That came out awesome, that house though. It came out, really nice.
It looked good at the end, yeah.
Cool. Okay, and last question, is it a similar cost each time to add an extra bathroom?
Yeah, roughly. I mean, the biggest unknown is always the plumber, and not like the room itself, the bathroom is very easy to calculate. It's how the plumbing connects to the waste. That's always the biggest unknown in terms of where the sewer point is, what's the distance, what's the fall. I've had one where we had to dig up like the entire backyard to get it where it needed to be. And then other ones where we've ended up pumping it, getting a pump and taking it up into the ceiling. And that's probably
awesome. All righty. That's it. I really appreciate you spending the last 57 minutes and 24 seconds chatting about your journey. You're an absolute weapon. Yeah, leading the way, showing a lot of people, how to do it. I think a lot of people obviously, sort of follow you a bit and probably admire from the distance that, the deals that you've done. So congratulations on, not only having a big year this year and last year since I've known you, but obviously, having the balls or the guts to do it, when Perth was, in a falling market and and you did it without any coach, without any course and that sort of stuff. So well done. I'm sure, the next couple of years is going to be, just as big for you here in Perth before you move down south and become a full-time developer.
Maybe. Cool. Thank you for having me, Graham. Thanks for letting me share my story.
All right. Cool. All right. Thanks a lot and chat soon.
See ya.